Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome. Hi. It's our last show of the year. Can you believe it? Well,
It's flying by.
It's crazy, isn't it? We've done all these shows. Obviously, with me as always is my co-host, Mr. David Jones. How are you?
I'm all good, thank you. You're well, mate.
Yeah, all good. What have you been up to? How you been? How did you enjoy last week off with all the technical problems I was having?
Oh, it was nice. Not to worry about the reviews and what I was going to say. I just keep relax and play a few games. That's always good.
It's always good, isn't it? And you can
yeah.
relax. You can have a couple of weeks off after tonight.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Lovely.
And obviously, we have a guest, because we always have a guest with us for the Christmas special. Mr. Dave Johnson. How you go?
Oh, it's me. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, you. Order of chaos and buckets.
Yes. Mostly buckets, though.
Nice to be
buckets of chaos. Anyway.
Buckets of chaos. I should have changed that.
Yeah.
There you go. Looking for your second time. Oh, yeah. No, there you go. These aren't going to last very long. We'll see how. I was going to say your second time on the Christmas special.
Yes. This is becoming a recurring theme, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you found this easier or more?
So much easier.
Yeah.
No, so much easier. So last year I played virtually nothing up until like November, then thought, oh shit, I'm on the show in a month. I need to play all of the things. I had no time. I work retail. So it's like, I think I killed myself last year nearly. Whereas this year it's been a lot easier. And there's been some good games, to be fair.
Yeah.
So
cool. So it's been all right.
I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Let's say hello to everyone who's here tonight. We are live on YouTube and YouTube Mobile, and we're live on Twitch. Dan Game Tank, good evening. Hope you're feeling a lot better, sir, because I know you've not been too well. Kindred, good evening. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Lino, hello. Welcome on back. You were here last night and one of our winners last night. Silver Cobra, insert obligatory Dave Johnson is smell. There you go.
Thank you, Silver Cobra.
Lovely to see you, Silver Cobra. Funnily enough, I was talking to you, talking about you and me when we went to Cooper's in Liverpool, because I saw Daria at the Horror Game Awards. So we were talking about that whole story because she didn't know about that and she thought it was very funny. So we were talking about that. So you came up in conversation. He goes, Kindred says, it's not like he doesn't have 365 days to prepare. I mean, yes and no, because you don't know what games are going to come out always, but you never know. Retro says, hello, always lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Sticky Knievel, hello, lovely evening, everybody. How are you? Flame, good evening. Brian was watching Brian playing Christmas Lemmings this afternoon. Good to see you stream, Brian.
Cool.
Good to see you. There you go. Dan says I'm getting there. Thank you. So all good to see you. So welcome on in. For our show. This is our last Tuesday night gaming chat of the year. But we're going to do a couple of things, just so you know. Because of last week's show having to get cancelled, which is the first show in 5 years we've ever cancelled, which is pretty good going for us. We are going to do a very quick, and I'm going to say very quick recap of what we want to talk about on last week's show. For those who are in the Discord, exclamation Discord in chat, you will be able to then see the trailers later tonight after the show with the scores and all the information. So if you want to find out more about the games that we're going to quickly mention. Now, someone asked the question last night, are we going to talk about the games that have come out this week? Because this week is the last week that games come out, frankly, up until Friday. And then the whole video game industry shuts for like 4 weeks. It's insane. So the answer is no, we're not going to cover games, which means we're not going to cover the new Terminator game or anything. What we are going to do, and Dave doesn't know this yet, is I'm going to give him a list of all the games tomorrow. He will whittle that down to 8, and then I'll do the same thing that I'm doing tonight, and either tomorrow or Thursday, chuck in the trailers for those 8 games that we would have covered if we were going to do that thing. It's highly likely Terminator will be in there. And then we'll round up everything so everyone gets an idea of what's come out over these last 2 weeks that we've missed. Vamp Queen, hello, how are you? Danka over on YouTube, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Brian says, worked out this week that I played 162 new games this year. Dude, that is impressive. Whoa. That is impressive. That puts me to shame. Absolutely puts me to shame.
I'm nowhere near that number.
I bow that, yeah. Can you imagine if you got a negative number? I played no new games this year. No, we are awesome. Thank you. We are awesome. So let's talk about what we would have talked about on the show last week. I'm going to hammer through these. Okay. So, Tuesday, the 2nd of December, we had a horror game called Sleep Awake. Came out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. That got a 6.5 out of 10. We then moved into some other games that you may have seen me play last week. Thursday, the 4th of December, we had the horror sci-fi game Routine, which came out on PC, Xbox Series X and S and 1. And it's also available on Game Pass. That got a 7.5 out of 10. I'm going to take these off. I'll put them back on later. They keep falling off the head. We then had a game that was very much people were looking forward to, a prequel to 2 previous games. Thursday, the 4th of December, we had Octopath Traveler 0. Those games are previously rated very highly. That came out on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PC, and again on Game Pass. Got a whopping 8.5 out of 10 on the reviews. A game that I also covered on Thursday, 4th of December, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, came out on Switch and Switch 2. That got an 8.5. No, it didn't. Sorry, got an 8 out of 10. We then had on Thursday the 4th, Blood Refresh Supply on PS4, 5, Xbox Series XS1, Switch and PC. Got a 7.5. A Thief game came out, Thief VR Legacy of Shadow on Steam VR MetaQuest PSVR 2. Got a 7 out of 10. The new DLC for Elden Ring Night Rain, The Forsaken Hollow, came out on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X and S PC. That got an 8 out of 10. And there was a game that came out on PC called Ferocious, which unfortunately only got a 5.5 out of 10. So those were the 8 games that we would have covered in last week's show. But unfortunately, tree came down, took out power, internet, phone, a lot. I was without it for 5 days. But we got there in the end.
It was the quietest 5 days I've had all year. Sorry.
It was the quietest 5 days Dave had.
Christmas present.
Yeah, I know. Early Christmas present. Yeah. Silence.
Yeah,
you're not getting any more. So those videos and those details will be in my Discord later on this evening. So this is what tonight's show is about. We are going to be unveiling our top 15 games of the year. Top 15 games of the year. And it has been an interesting year of sorts. I think we've had a lot better year in terms of games that have come out. I think because there's been a lot more surprises. Because I'm going to say this, and I've pretty much said this for the year. This year has been the year of mediocrity within big name games. So it's no surprise I'm going to mention things like Doom: The Dark Ages, Borderlands 4, Little Nightmares 3, and obviously Mind's Eye. Just kidding. Mind's Eye was truly shit. But those 3 games, amongst some others, were good games, but games that people were very much looking forward to, but were very much okay at best. And I'm going to really stick my neck out here, and I'll probably piss people off, but I'm including Terminator 2D Dark Fate, because that was a massive disappointment for me last night playing it. And I've played some more of it, and I'm going to state my case that any game that's a Terminator game that only gives you 1.5 levels playing as a Terminator is not a fucking Terminator game. I think they really missed a trick there, amongst other things. But it is what it is, and I think it's massively overpriced for what it is for a game that you can complete in 44 minutes. I know it has been well received. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. I gave it a fair chance last night. It did start to change my mind, and then I played the rest of it. And most reviews say, "Oh, you can play the whole thing and all the modes within 4 hours." So there you go. Again, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on it. It's very much a 7 out of 10 game, but it's just in that mediocrity again of what we've had. I'm just so disappointed. But it's the games that have literally come out of nowhere that have surprised us. Boo! It's Game of the Year. Who paid you off? I bet it was that. Like, true story. I honestly thought I could have dropped that into my top 5 because of the expectation of how it was. And I'm going to state this. People are saying this is the best Terminator game there's ever been, But Terminator 2 on the SNES, the side scrolling, which I believe Dave had, I think you had, or we rented it out.
I think I did have it for a bit. I've never really mastered it.
Yeah, I actually think is a better game and a better example because it does more because you're playing as a Terminator, you can only shoot people in the legs. I feel that the way they've dealt with it, this new game, is not great because you murder everyone. And it's like, it's not in the spirit of what that film was about. And I don't know, there's stuff that's rubbed me up the wrong way with that. So, look, you can disagree with me. If you are enjoying it, great. I'm probably still going to play some more of it because I've got a few bits to complete. But for me, it's a 7 out of 10, as in I'll play it, pick it up when I'm done with it. We'll never play it again. Like Borderlands 4, Doom, done. So there you go. Just saying that. However, we have had some very interesting games come out tonight. And we start the year, as we always do, with 2 New Year's specials. And it varies from year to year with how many games get included. This year was 50, which I think is the most we've ever done. And Danker has very kindly put in the Discord. I'm going to run through these. What those games were that we announced and what actual scores they got. I'm not going to say what the scores are. Go check out the Discord for this. But interestingly enough, 17 of the 50 games that were due to come out this year didn't come out. 17, which is the highest amount we've had. So I'm going to run through these. We had Dynasty Warriors Origins, which kicked off the year. We had Replaced, which I don't think came out. Phantom Blade Zero, which finally got a release date for next year. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. Nothing came of that. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD obviously came out. Assetto Corsa Evo came out, but did get very average reviews. Reanimal comes out next year. Mouse PI for Hire comes out in March now. We got a date. Arc Raiders did make it. Chrono Odyssey, also another game that's getting moved into next year. Militaire Sonaire, another game that's got moved into next year. Still Hunters, a game that did come out, but we never talked about it on the talk show because it got shut down in October. So it only lasted a few months. Pioneer didn't come out. Singularity come out at the start of the year. You can get it on PS Plus now. The Alters, Slay the Spire 2 didn't come out. Claire Obscura 33, which obviously has done fantastically in the Golden Joystick Awards and last week at the Game Awards. Turok Origins, slated for next year. Eternal Strands, Dying Like the Beast, we did get. And then we move on. We had the Outer Worlds 2. Judas didn't come out this year. Dune Awakening. Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, as we know, has been delayed. Pokemon Legends Z to A, we got. Killing Floor 3. Little Nightmares 3, we did get. Again, disappointing. Elden Ring Night Rain, that came out. Hell is Us. Subnautica 2, as we know, had issues, has been pushed back. We had Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta Snake Eater, which was the remaster remake. The first Berserker Kazan. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which obviously came out literally 2 weeks ago. Split Fiction, Avowed, Mafia the Old Country, South of Midnight, Ghost of Yoti. And then the final 10 that we had slated were Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Crimson Desert, been postponed to next year, Fable, still no information on that, even though that was supposed to come out. GTA 6, as we know, got delayed again. Atomfall, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Monster Hunter Wilds, Doom the Dark Ages, and Borderlands 4. So out of 50 games, 17 didn't actually come out that were slated. Some of them may feature in our 2 New Year's specials, but they might not, because we will base them on what's being talked about and where the hype is. It's not based on our top 50 list. So the question is, did any of those games that did actually come out make it into our list for this year? Now, obviously, it's very difficult to do a top 15. And the way it works is myself, Dave, and our guest, Dave Johnson, get to pick 5 games each. And I'm not going to lie, I found this year very difficult to do my top 5. And I think there's going to be games that you'll expect from me and Dave, and maybe even Dave Johnson. There's a couple there that I think people are going to expect to be in the top 15 as a whole. these are our personal opinions. If you don't agree with them, that's fine. You can make up your own list as well and start up a podcast. Why not? Go for it. I encourage it. But because it's so difficult to narrow it down, we do a set of games that we recommend to people, which are what we call honourable mentions. So games that would easily appear in a top 10 or our top 10. So we're going to start with Dave Johnson's first two honourable mentions. I'm going to bring these up. We're not going to show the videos for these. We are going to talk about what scores they got on the show as well. We're going to bring that up. iQual says, I already disagree. T2 TD is awesome. Fine. If you love it, great. I don't care for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Kindred says, Claire 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, maybe Split Fiction, might be in the top 15. We shall have to see. Diva, good evening. How are you? So, starting with Dave Johnson's honourable mentions, this is the first one, which is Jackbox Party Pack 11. So, Dave, tell us why this got an honourable mention for you this year.
Well, I've been a fan of Jackbox since the first game, which dates me horribly. But obviously, I'm a guy whose connections and like origins online is deep rooted in community. And what better the way to annoy a community than by playing Jackbox and getting insulted by 10 different people? And it's just every edition seems to get a little bit better. There's usually one game out of the 4 or 5 games that is a bit crap. But I don't know. I just love a bit of like, it doesn't take a lot of time to set up. You can get a game going in 5 minutes. You can spend 20 minutes and that's it. It's done.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a game you have to spend a lot of time with. It doesn't take a lot of learning either, which is good. The only problem is I know people who can't think on the feet sometimes struggle with it.
Yeah.
But for me, it just means I get to insult them more. So anything community based, I'm all for it. But especially Jackbox. He's got such good form, good reputation. And, well, you know, might be seeing more of it at Timeless. So,
yeah, I think that's highly likely. I mean, Kindred, who's the point? I think there was a game on there that no one was quite expecting as part of the party pack, which was the RPG game, which was an RPG, Chris. And I adored that. And we will play more of that over Christmas because we are going to be doing community nights starting from tomorrow night. But that came out of nowhere and was just hilarious in that respect, that you could have an RPG game that people could play on their phones, yet while being quizzed, which was just so much fun. So much fun. iQual says, Claire Explorer Expedition 33 is overrated. There, I said it again. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. But we'll have to see if it makes our top 15 or not. Brian has said his top 5 for the year is Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Fast Fusion, Sectori, Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, and Blueprints. Well, we'll have to see if any of them made our top 15. But there are definitely some good games in there for sure. Now, Dave J's second honourable mention, we'll get this up on the screen, was a remaster. But this is a bit of an odd one because some people may agree with this, some people might not. But for PlayStation fans, this was quite a big thing. So obviously we are talking Gears of War Reloaded.
Yes.
So why? I'm guessing because you were playing this on PlayStation. This was it? Was
yeah.
That the case?
It's kind of. I've got a weird thing with Gears of War because growing up, it tended to be you was either a Halo fan or a Gears of War fan on the Xbox, and I was more of the Halo guy. So I came to Gears of War quite late, but I loved how brutal it was. And playing this, obviously on a PlayStation, is like it's quirky enough. Like I never thought it'd happen. Similar to bringing Mario to Sega, you'd think to PlayStation it will never happen. Not Sega, Mario. I'll get more right. But but actually, I realized despite I did enjoy playing this, I forgot how needlessly hard it is. It's one of those games where it can be really unforgiving, and you can die 50 times on one boss, and you just get fed up and rage quit. And that's part of the fun, because then you go back next day, you play it, and you do it first time and think, what the was I doing? Like, why didn't I think of that yesterday? Oh, yeah, because exactly, because I was a crazy gibbering fool for like 20 minutes. And the story is also pretty rubbish too. But you don't play it for the story; you play it for the fun. So
I don't know. Do you know what? I'm with you on this now. Now you've said that, it kind of puts things into perspective because everyone knows I'm not a Halo fan, but I have loved all the Gears of War games, even the ones that people have not been so keen on, like Judgment. I really enjoyed that. So it's interesting that, I mean, Brian here said never been a big Gears of War fan, and I think it's one of those things you're either going to love or not. Dave and me used to spend many afternoons playing some of the Gears games, going through them. So you know, I think that's good. I do think they've recently not been as good. 4 and 5 have been a little bit so.
4 I liked, 5 no.
Yeah, not so much. I think the only reason I like 5 is because it loops into 4 quite nicely, because I felt 4 ended so abruptly. I was like, what the fuck? But then 5 kind of tied it, and I was like, okay, I'm letting you off now. So Gears E-Day, I'm very excited for. If we see that next year, we don't know. We assume we're going to get it next year, but who knows? It might end up in our New Year's specials, so we'll see. But yeah, I get it. What I will say with this is, I think if like Dan Game Tank as well was playing this on PlayStation, I think any fans that had it on PlayStation would be over the moon. I think if you got it on Xbox, a lot of people were disappointed because it was the same as the remaster that we got 10 years ago. Nothing much had changed, to be honest. So I think why it's highly recommended is it's on PlayStation. Get it. If you've got an Xbox, get the remaster from 10 years ago. You'll be playing the same thing. So I think it's one of them. So for PlayStation fans, big win for sure. So those are your recommendations. Highly recommended. Highly commended. So let's move on to you. So first one is a DLC that we've got here, which I mean, I say it's a DLC. It's technically its own thing, but it's kind of, in a way, it's a bit of both, isn't it? But it's a game that you can play for shorter periods of time, which is quite good. And that is Elden Ring Night Rain.
Well, yeah, not really a DLC. It's its own game, different type of game, but using similar mechanics from the main game. Now, I included this one as a honourable mention because whilst it's not a game that I really spent that much time playing myself, because I kind of found that you really do need to be playing this with people you know, so you can communicate. And so, playing it with randoms wasn't as good. Trying to play this on my own, I wasn't particularly good at it, so I wasn't really enjoying it that much. But it's a sort of game I actually enjoyed watching other people play it a lot more. So I'm giving it an honourable mention because I just found it a really enjoyable game to watch people play.
Yeah.
So I spent quite a bit of time watching various different people on YouTube play it, and that has been really quite entertaining because these people are much more skilled at it than me. They're better at the pace of the game than I am, so they can they're whizzing through getting the weapons. They can pass them in a couple of seconds to work out which one's the best one to take and carry on. Whereas I need a good couple of minutes to try and work it out. I need to look at each weapon that's there that I've already got, compare it. Yeah. But while I'm doing that, the other two players have fucked off to the next thing, and I'm left behind and I work out where they've gone. So for me, it didn't work personally, to play it, but to watch it, I found it a really enjoyable game. So I added it as a mention just for that reason, really. So I found it cool for that.
Okay. I know it was a massive thing at TwitchCon this year.
It's been massively popular.
It was plastered all around. I think they were practically sponsoring TwitchCon back in May. But there was a lot of hype about it. I think it came out that weekend that the event was on. So I think it was but yeah, and obviously the new DLC, as we said, has come out and that's got great reviews as well. But yeah, if you fancy that, it's something a bit different. I know they're going to be adding more and more stuff to it, which is good. Your second honourable mention is a online game which has got rave reviews and done really, really well. And I'm yet to play this, but everyone's been raving about it. And that is Ark Raiders.
Yeah, no, this is another one where I haven't played a huge amount of it yet because too much other stuff I've been playing. If I'd played it more, maybe it could have gone into the top 5. But from what I have played of it, I've really enjoyed it because it's got really cool world design, good artistic design. The sound, audio design is really, really good. And if you've been even remotely interested in extraction shooters, this is a good one to get into because it feels pretty fair. Whereas a lot of other ones Escape from Tarkov, they're pretty hardcore. I think there's a lot to learn in there. You can easily lose everything and end up with next to nothing. This one is quite fair because if things don't go your way and you do end up dying, they've got free loadouts that you can get to then go back in pretty much straight away. and they give you a couple of guns, a good bit of storage to like gather stuff, so you can get back into the game pretty quickly. You don't feel like you've lost too much really, and some of the people that you meet in there can be quite nice. You know, I've been killed by people, but I've met a few like other nice people in there who'll offer to help you out, and you're playing solo. You know, come up to you, offer you bandages if they think you've been in like a fight. So it's like a good mix of like players that are in there, and as I say, compared to like Night Rain, where I didn't really feel that was great solo, especially for me. Arc Raiders is much better solo because you do feel that you can do stuff. You don't have to engage with the other players if you don't want to. You can just like try and fight the AI, or you can just go around just try and collect things like on the periphery, avoiding everything, and then extract out. But it's definitely got that sort of good bit of tension you get for a game where you are sort of risking everything really. You've gone in, you've got to try and get stuff and get out. So you have a good bit of tension. It always feels good when you do make the extraction points and you manage to get out.
Nice.
So it's one that I do plan to play more of, definitely.
Yeah.
But from what I played so far, I really, really enjoyed it.
Cool. I hopefully I'll jump on it over Christmas because there are things I want
I'd
to play
recommend it.
And I'll give it a go. But I know everyone's been raving about that. So just want to say hello to a few people in chat. Hannah says, "Evening, Dave." Jesse says, and Dave nods. Hello, Jesse. DJ Mike is here. Says, "Hi, Dave. I hope you both have a great holiday season." Hi to the Dave. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Hi, Dave. I hope you both have a great holiday. Mag, I hope Santa gets you a Stadia. Please, if he does, then I will get in Mount Joy of smashing the fuck out of it. So there you go. Gozzo says, "Hi, Mag, and everyone. Sorry, been late. Just been sorting out some stuff. And hi, everyone. Welcome on in, Gozzo." So you've also got a third honourable mention for tonight. And that is a game that I'm going to say this now does fall into my mediocrity category, but again, did enjoy it. And I know they've started adding new stuff to it, and I'll be interested to see what they add to it next year. So it will entice me to go back into that. And that is, if I just boot this up, is Mafia: The Old Country.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it isn't a top class game by like any stretch because it's not doing anything remotely new. Now, if you played a previous Mafia game or really any other open world game, you know what you're going to be getting gameplay wise. If you watched any particular Mafia movies, you know what the story is going to be. You can see the twist coming a mile away. But yeah, in spite of all that, I still enjoyed it for what it was. It was a cool setting. You don't really get any other games set in like a early 1900s Sicily. So it was a cool place to like have an open world. And whilst, as I say, it was a story that did nothing new. It was still fun to watch. I thought the voice acting was really good.
Yeah.
The cutscenes, everything for it were brilliant. And the gameplay was enjoyable enough. So and it probably also helped. It was a fairly short run time. I think it was 10-ish hours, 10, 12 hours. It took me. So you could sort of get through it in a couple of weekends the way I was playing it. So it was just a good, fun game for me to play. Did nothing new at all, but they don't always have to be enjoyable. And I enjoyed this one.
I think out of all the games that I was looking forward to, this was the one that I was least upset with. Do you know what I mean? So I did enjoy my time with it, but I just felt in some ways it was weird because it felt like a step back from Mafia 3. But I know a lot of people moaned about Mafia 3 because of the fact it went slightly open world. So it's trying to win which fans over. But I had fun with it. I've not tried the open racing thing and that yet.
Yeah, they've added some new activities in the open world, haven't they? But it's the sort of stuff that I'm not bothered about, so I wouldn't go back for that stuff. I enjoy just playing for the story.
I'm hoping
an open world and wasn't much to do, but I was just traveling from A to B to get.
I mean that's the thing. It's not open world, which is weird for a game like that, and especially for something that looks so beautiful. But they've now made it open world, and hopefully the stuff that they add will add to that. So I can't put it on the naughty list. It's kind of just there, but I had fun with it. But I get enjoyed it because again, great voice acting, great visuals, gameplay was solid. I didn't have any technical problems with it. So Brian said enjoyed my time with Mafia, but it disappeared from my brain. Because I think that's the thing. It's completely forgettable. It's great, but it's forgettable, and that's the problem that we've had this year.
We'll move on to other stuff. That's completely true.
Yeah. So there you go. So that is Dave's honourable mentions. So I've got a few, and this is why this is why. Hello, Phantom. How you doing? It's Double Dave night. It is indeed.
Yeah.
This is why it was so difficult doing my top 5, because last year I got moaned at that my top 5 was technically a top 6. So I was like, all right, I'll keep it to a top 5, but that means I've got 6 honourable mentions because all these games I couldn't sort into a thing. So some of these are going to shock some people, but let's start at the beginning, and let's start with a game that I absolutely adored, but the reason I couldn't put it in my top 5 is because I haven't finished it and I'm nowhere near finishing it. But it's absolutely fantastic. Is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I never played the first one. I didn't think this was going to be a game, and you'll see this is a running theme with me. Games that I would not normally play that are so good that I had to play them, and it made me just enjoy it so much. Excellent voice acting, excellent gameplay, so much stuff to do. It is a mammoth of a game, and hopefully I might get some time over Christmas to finish it. I don't know. I couldn't put it in the top 5 because of that, but it's just great, and the way the story works as well. And I think this is the thing, again, the way my top 5 games are, it's games that I feel more emotionally invested in, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does that very, very well, because there's certain scenes that are just shocking. You're like, oh shit, I never saw that coming. And there's things that make you feel stuff. And if games do that, that's how good the storytelling and voice acting, graphics, gameplay, and everything is. Apparently, it's 50% off on Steam now. So if you haven't got it, go get it, because it is really, really good. I just gutted. I really wanted it to be my top 5. I can't say, hey, it's in my top 5 when I haven't finished it. So I don't think that's fair to.
I want to play it. It's just finding the time to finish it. It's a long game. I've already got other stuff to play.
And that's the thing. And this is why this leads to my second honourable mention, because of the same thing. A game that I actually thought that brought a series back on form, but again is a huge mammoth game, and that is Assassin's Creed Shadows. I've felt that the Assassin's Creed franchise has stumbled for quite a few years, so much so that some of them I've not even really wanted to give the time of day. And there was a lot riding on this one. I feel bad in some ways because I don't think this has got anywhere near as much love as it deserves. But again, have not finished it because it's so fucking huge. I love the story it was telling. I love the way it was done. Yes, you are pretty much getting the thing of a map with a ton of icons, but it did feel that the story was gripping enough for me to want to keep hammering through it. So I definitely recommend it. I know this is on sale as well right now. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, I think it's good. It'd be interesting to see where they go with this next. And I'm not talking about the remaster that we're going to get next year, because we're going to get the Black Flag remake or whatever they're calling it. But yeah, if they keep up with this kind of level, hopefully this will do well. Hopefully do well. Brian says this is the problem, because obviously the last big Assassin's Creed game was Valhalla and takes something like 247 hours to complete, and I'm not giving you 247 hours of my fucking time.
You can get stuff.
No, exactly.
Like tons of the games that amount of time.
Yeah. Silver Cobra says hopefully they redeem themselves with future content in Shadows after this. Yeah, so the Attack on Titan collab was quite a bit of basically a laughing stock. And then it came swiftly announced, as we talked about in the show, there is going to be no other DLC for this game, which I find quite disappointing. I've not played the first DLC, which came out back in September, but that did get good reviews. But there you go. So there you go with that one. My next one, a game I really wanted to love, and I do like, but there's bits of it that annoy me. So therefore, I could not put this in my top 5. And that was Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think it's an outstanding achievement. I still think it's the best game on the Switch 2 right now. But I got bored of it quite quickly because it just felt very repetitive. Now, I have found that by giving it a break and going back and doing a couple of levels at a time, I've enjoyed it more. But this was one of the games that I felt if I played this in a full thing, this might not have even got in my top 10. I think it's visually stunning. I think it's technically brilliant, but it's so rinse and repeat with what you have to do. And there's some games that are rinse and repeat that I would basically go, I think this doesn't deserve to be in the top 20. But I can see why this is such a good game and how it runs. So I have fun with it, but there's times where it bored me. I'm sorry to say that. I'm sorry if you love that game. I'm actually going to apologise for this one. Other games I'm not going to apologise that I'm hating on. But this one, it just annoys me that I feel like this way about this because I wanted to love this so much. I completely agree about it. Great, but frustrating. Yeah, it's an odd one, but I still think it's the best game on Switch 2 at the moment. So you go, and that's not dissing any other games. It just feels that that's the way. So next on the list, this was a tough one to bounce between two. Hello, Fury. Fury says hello, and it should have been a launch title, to be honest. Best Switch 2 game, in your opinion, is Kirby Air Riders. I did really enjoy Kirby Air Riders. Maybe not as much as other people, but it pleasantly surprised me, and I really enjoyed my time with it, and I will play more of it. So I definitely think Kirby Air Riders is up there, but not as good for me as Donkey Kong, if that makes any sense at all, considering what I've said. But this next game gets an honourable mention. A new game, but retro game, which I was tussling with between a couple of these. What would get in the top 5 and wouldn't. And unfortunately, this fell out. I actually enjoyed this more than its brand new modern day counterpart. And that was Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which came out at the end of July. This is a great retro platformer. Really good skill thing. Again, can be frustrating at times, but the sort of frustrating that makes you want to keep going back at it until you smash that boss or you get through that level. So it's the sort of frustrating that drives you to move forward, and that's what I like. So I really, really enjoyed my time with Ninja Gaiden Rangebound, and even though I did enjoy Ninja Gaiden 4, love this a lot more. So there you go. Kindred says, is it me or does Mag's mic keep getting muffled? I don't know.
You did sound muffled a moment ago.
I did not a moment ago. If that's the case, that is purely the streaming software. There's nothing I can do about that because we've had that problem before. So sorry about that if it happens. But I won't apologise for it again because of fuck all I can do about it. Brian says Fast Fusion is the best game on Switch. I've not played that, so I can't comment on that at all. Moving on next. A game that I did say I'm going to mention about because we didn't get to talk about it on last week's show. Didn't quite get on my top 5, but did get a 8 out of 10, as I just mentioned earlier. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Really enjoyed this until the last quarter of the game. I think the first 3 quarters of this are superb. Now, I am not a purist of Metroid, and I believe there's a lot of Metroid fans that are not happy with this game. But for someone who hasn't played it since, maybe the NES and SNES version, I've really, really enjoyed my time. However, the reason I cannot put this in my top 5 is you get to a point where it forces you to do really binary tasks, and you cannot move on in the game without doing it. One of these things is fucking collecting over 1,000 green crystals on a really empty map. And luckily, I'd collected about 50% of it, but you cannot proceed. And I had to spend 30 minutes driving around, smashing into these things just to fucking move on, to then get another 5-step fetch quest before moving on to the next bit. And there's also bits that then make you go all the way to one point to go all the way back to where you come from. And that I fucking hate in games. And this is the problem. It doesn't really do that in the first 3 quarters of the game. But the last quarter, now, if they'd spread it out, it might have made this a better game. But it's almost like they go, shit, what do we do for this next? Here's a simple answer. Don't fucking do that. Take it to the end boss bit. You would have had a perfectly decent game. But by padding it out, that dropped way lower in my estimations. So therefore, it's one of these things. It's a great game, but it could have been so much far better. And that's why that didn't reach my top 5, unfortunately. So my last 2, this got massively overlooked and is a difficult game, but I did have fun with it. And I'm glad to hear that the guys that have done this are now going to do the Silent Hill 1 remake, because they did brilliantly with the Silent Hill 2 remake, which got an honourable mention last year. And this is obviously from Bloober Team, Chronos: The New Dawn. I struggled with this on stream when we played this, and found that the difficulty curve, because there is no difficulty setting on this, is really high. But it's the sort of game, again, that makes you persevere with it. I think there's only 2 segments that made me kind of nearly want to quit, because it felt like I was in an impossible situation I can't get out. But once I figured it out, I thought this was cool. I just like how they did it. It's a very bleak game. Don't expect any happy endings. There's 3 different endings. I'm going to tell you this now. None of them are good. But I did like the way they did it. And there is ways that, because of what you choose to do, can affect the game. It was kind of like, the best way of saying this, it's like a lower tier Dead Space, but a perfectly really good game. So again, I don't mean any disrespect to it. It's good fun, but I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea when it comes to this game. So again, definitely my honourable mentions. Can't wait to see what Bloober Team do with the Silent Hill 1 remake, but definitely would be in my top 5. And my final honourable mention, and this, I struggle with this the most, so much so that this nearly got in my top 5, and then I took it out, and I went back in, and I took it out again, literally this afternoon. And it pains me to say this, that it's not in my top 5. But I think I've made the right decision with this. And that is probably the game that made me laugh the most I have ever done this year. But this is, let me get this here. Baby Steps. I know that some people would not get on with this game. I thought this game would make me rage. Like, I would say absolutely rage. But all I did was laugh. I love the wackiness of it. I love the fact that at first you think it is a game that I just need to climb up a mountain, and then there'll be funny cutscenes. What I quickly discovered is it's a game that doesn't tell you that you should really explore, because the more you explore, the more things you will find and the more funny cutscenes you get. So actually you're more rewarded for basically randomly going to stuff. And you can tell that this has been like a lot of the stuff that's scripted is ad hoc, but that's just what makes it so weird and so funny. I'm never gonna spoil the ending for someone. It's so bizarre. There's also a 40-minute, which I had to watch, a 40-minute bonus ending if you do some certain things in the game, which is hilarious, and you can watch them, and they basically ad-lib, and it's hilarious for 40 minutes. But this game offers way more than people think than just trying to walk up a mountain. And I have never laughed so hard with some of the things and some of the cutscenes. So it really pains me that this is not in my top 5. But you'll see why. I think there was just not room for it. So there you go. That is why my honourable mentions. So just to recap for anyone before we get into our top 15. Honourable mentions from Dave Johnson. Jackbox 11, which got an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give you the scores from the show. Gears of War Reloaded, 8 out of 10. And then on from Dave, Elden Ring Night Rain, got 8 out of 10. Ark Raiders, 8 out of 10. Mafia the Old Country, 7 out of 10. And then from me, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which got a 9 out of 10. Assassin's Creed Shadows, which got an 8 out of 10. Donkey Kong Bonanza, which got a 9 out of 10. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, 8.5 out of 10. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, 8 out of 10. Chronos The New Dawn, 7.5. And Baby Steps, 7.5. Brian says, haven't managed to play Chronos. I'll probably like it as I like Callisto Protocol. Yeah, I love Callisto Protocol. I know a lot of people didn't, but I loved it. And I think if you love that, you would love that. So I think that's the thing. It's one of those things. It's one of those games that will definitely divide people. Iquel said that this looks like the most frustrating game I've seen in a long time. Yeah, and I thought I would end up hating it, but it was one of these games I was really looking forward to for like 2 years, and it delivered. But it's fucking hard work, okay? That's the thing about Baby Steps.
I think it would piss me off.
Long haul, okay?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, so there you go. So, let's do this, people. Are we all ready for our top 15 games of the year?
Yeah, we are, mate.
Absolutely.
Go.
Chat, are you ready? Can you guess? Have there been any shockers? Let us know in chat. Is there anything that we've just been in the honourable mentions that you've gone, what? That's not in your top 15? Let us know. We'll see if we've surprised anybody. But we're basically going to go along. So we are going to start with our guest, Dave Johnson. So we're not going to say what this is. We're going to see if you can guess what this is in the chat, because we're not doing scores or anything like that this time. Danker says, my honourable mention, deliver at all costs. Do you know what? I've still got that on my hard drive and I've never played it. And I got that free copy that you recommended, Danker. And I played that at New Game Plus this year. And I was like, wanna play that. Never got round to it. So maybe I'll do that. Gaiden hits hard. That Shinobi will be a bit higher on the list. Well, will it? Let's have a look. But our first game, as we said, I'm going to make this clear. Category for the top 15 has to be a game that came out this year. Okay. If it's a game that's been on a previous platform, but has finally come to a new platform this year, it can be counted. DLCs, as long as they are lengthy, can be counted. And remasters and remakes can be also counted. As long as they are a decent game and we think they are, then it fits. But if you get a DLC that's like 1 hour long, we ain't going to count it. And a DLC that's like Horse Armor also doesn't count. All right, just saying. So there you go. So kicking off with the first one, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying. This was Dave Johnson's number 5. Let's play the trailer for this. See if you can guess what our first game in our top 15 is.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. She'd double-cross us like this.
We will use the legacy to heal that rift and make the world whole again. To do this, we need strength, an unstoppable trump card with enough power to bring order to the world.
Do you love her?
No, nothing like that.
Do you hate her?
For 10 years, we lived and died together. You couldn't possibly understand.
And you think you can kill her now?
Hey, don't you go getting any funny ideas.
We can't leave yet. I've still got one last job to do.
She's at the lake. She's waiting for you there.
We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy.
What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. I've been waiting, Snake. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
PlayStation.
There you go. So Dave's number 5, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which I think is a game that we've all played.
Yeah.
I will say I thoroughly enjoyed, and I've not played a lot of Metal Gear games. I've been out of that loop, so was pleasantly surprised with this one. But I'll start with Dave Johnson. Tell us why this is your number 5.
Absolutely. So a lot of these things I tend to become quite late into these things. A Metal Gear Solid, despite the fact I've grown up as 1, 2, 3 came out, 4, 5 was my first. Phantom Pain, which was a lot of people's first.
Yeah.
And love that game. I've sunk, I want to say 1,000 hours into it. It sounds really weird because big open game, can replay it endlessly. So coming into this one, 3 is one of the better known games. Like 1 and 3, I think, are the best 2 in terms of what people think of the originals.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved it. You could see parts of 5 in 3 because obviously it's the built it from the ground up kind of thing.
Yes.
Added so many things from 5 into 3. But it's funny because it's in my top 5 because I spent a lot of time playing it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Oh, interesting.
Again, yeah, which is odd for your top 5 games. I'm saying I didn't enjoy it, but I did. It got very samey, and one thing that really put me off is the small maps. If you know what I mean, because everything was relatively self-contained. So,
yeah,
exactly. So there's loading screens, and the loading screens weren't quick even on a PS5. But like you get Phantom Pain, and it's massive. I shouldn't really compare apples to oranges, really. But I think going from 5 to 3, they tried to make 3 like 5, but while trying to keep 3's identity. And I think it's a great game. The mechanics were good. Boss fights were challenging, frustrating sometimes. But yeah, I think a little bit they dropped the ball compared to 5. A lot of people will say the opposite and say it's the best they've played so far of any remake. But yeah, certainly enjoyed it. I spent enough time playing it because I couldn't really move, literally. But yeah, it was a great game. Absolutely loved it. But it could have been a little bit more for me. But again, I'm more of an open world fan, so
okay. I'm going to ask this question because obviously I'd not played it before. So me going in blind, I really enjoyed this. Brian's just said he preferred the original. So he played it, then went back to the original, played it. Do you think it's that case of if you played it round the first time, you're probably not going to like this remake as much? Whereas if you're like me, new into the series, then you're probably going to go, oh, this is superb.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you take, say, Final Fantasy VII, for example. An iconic game, absolute classic. The remakes, brilliant games in their own right, but people still go, it's not quite the original, though, is it? Because it's that nostalgia element. Yeah. And I think that's why we're seeing so many remakes now, because they're trying to monopolize nostalgia. And, the game is getting older, which, present company included, because I'm the youngest. But, yeah, So, yeah, I definitely think it is a case of the original was better, even when really the originals probably aren't better because the remakes have so much more in them.
Yeah, that's
more
true.
Refined, but nostalgia is powerful, as we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave, I know you played this. Do you want to chip in a little bit about this one?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I did try playing it originally on the PS2, like both versions that they brought out, the original and the Subsistence one. I can't remember why I didn't get very far in either one. I don't know whether I got distracted by other stuff at the time that was out, but I never got that far in them. But I thought I'd try it again a third time, the new version on the PS5, and I really enjoyed it. Just got hooked straight away and blasted through it over a few weekends. Great game, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's actually made me want to replay some of the other ones, and I've even gone back to 5 and getting fairly far into that one.
Yeah, you've been playing quite a chunk.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of that cracking game.
Okay, all right. Well, on our show, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater got an 8.5 out of 10. So it's a good, strong start for our games. And another game that got an 8.5 out of 10, and this is Dave's pick, is a sequel to a very much loved game, which I loved a lot. And I've not played this one anywhere near as much as I should do. But here is our next game in our top 15. And this literally just came out on PlayStation. So it came out on Xbox and PC first and was on Game Pass, but has now landed on PlayStation literally in the last week or so, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is great. So tell us why this is your number 5, Dave.
Yeah, I just find these games just great fun to play. I mean, I love the first one, the Lonely Mountains Downhill on the bikes. That was brilliant. Spent tons of hours in that one, just racing down the tracks, trying to improve my time, find all the shortcuts, and I've enjoyed just doing that again. On this one, using in the snow on your skis, and it's again just fun. Whilst they've got music played in that trailer, when you're playing like the game, you haven't got any music. You just got the sound of nature.
Yeah.
So you hear the birds or the wind through the trees, and it's just the sound of your skis on the snow. It's just quite a nice sort of calming soundtrack, if you like, just as you're sort of going down, trying to sort of find your best route down to the base camp at the bottom. And no doubt along the way you'll end up crashing a few times, like I do, and it's always quite fun when you crash because they've done that really well. The way the character ragdolls, especially when you just send him plummeting to his death from a great height. Poor bastard. I've killed him many a time.
Yeah,
but I like the way they're designed, like the mountains that you come down, because there's so many little routes that you see as you're coming down. You spot these other little ways to go. You think, oh no, that could shave a few seconds off my time. So you do feel it's worth going back to each level to find the better routes and improve your time, and then. The better you get, you'll be able to unlock like the alternate version of a course. So this one, you've got like the blue slopes that are easy to unlock. Whereas the black slopes, they're quite challenging. You got to get a really good time, and you got to do it with a small number of crashes. So they are quite challenging to do, but you do feel quite a good bit of satisfaction when you do manage to master it and get all the way down, and then unlock that black slope, and then you got to master that one. So I find it really good from a single player point of view for that. Now, I haven't really spent any time at all with the multiplayer side of it, but that's the additional thing this one's got compared to the original game. Full multiplayer, so I think you can just go like in a straight race. You can play as a team. No, I haven't really bothered doing that because, as I said, I crash a lot, so I would just end up last in all the multiplayer races or spoiling it for a teammate. So I've just stuck with the single player, and that side of it for me is really, really good. But anyone who likes it and wants to multiplayer, at least it's got that side as well in this one.
Brilliant.
Cool little game. Absolutely love it. I'm going to keep playing more of it.
Yeah, I love the first. I obviously I did stream this. I enjoyed it. I don't play it anywhere as much as I probably need to, but it's definitely good fun. Definitely good fun. Dave Johnson, did you get a chance to play this one or not?
I did not. I've completely slept on this. I couldn't even remember seeing it, even though you streamed it and you both talked about it. Totally missed it. But it looks like a chill old game.
Yeah,
it is kind of like what Dave was saying, like the nature soundtrack sort of thing. Absolutely love that. So I'm going to give that a go, definitely.
Yeah, and Kindred's right. Kindred said it's a game you can pick up and have a quick game, not having to use brain and spend hours on one mission. Yeah, or play it, do a level, 5 minutes, and then come back another day and carry on with it. So yeah, definitely. So that got an 8.5 on our talk show when that came out, and then it means it's now my turn for my number 5. Which is also, like Dave and Dave's, this was a game that also got an 8.5. And as I said, I was bouncing between this and Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. as to what one of these would be, but I felt that this won its place in the top 5. So this is a classic game revamped for this year.
It seems nothing can stop a shinobi on the warpath. Such fury in your eyes.
Tear him to shreds!
So this was Brian's game of the year. But I for me, like, they've taken a classic platform action game from the Mega Drive and revamped it.
Yes, no, shit.
Pocket Locket, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Obviously, we're not doing the competition draws tonight, but I will add your 5 entries on at the end of the show. I also want to say that Diva and Phantom got a 10 stream streak, so have been awarded 450 Mojo Bytes. And Drawn Unicycle is on a 30 stream streak and also gets 450 bonus Mojo Points to spend in the chat. So thank you so much to all of you. Thank you again, Pocket. Greatly appreciate it. So this is more of a Metroidvania game than Metroid, the new Metroid was, I'll be honest. But they took a classic thing and they tipped it on its head and made it into something new. And again, there are parts that make you die and die again. You're like, right, I want to find this, but it just always wants to push you forward. And I had so much fun when this came out at the end of August, playing this and just basically finding all the little things and all the collectibles. And some of the bits are so challenging, it's insane, but it pushed me in the same way that Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown that came out last year did, which was also in my top 5. So this had to go in there. Couldn't recommend this any more highly. I just hope that the other Sega properties that they are revamping, such as Golden Axe, Crazy Taxi, and Jet Set Radio, are also this high standard, because this has set the bar for this now. So I hope that they do hit that thing. So yeah, your fingers crossed. How many games that we deep into? We have done the first 3, Pocket. We've talked about our honourable mentions. So there was 11 honourable mentions, and now we're doing our top 15. So just so you know, Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater, Lonely Mountains, Snow Riders, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance are our top 5s. So moving on, a game we didn't talk about. This is Dave Johnson's thing. We didn't get a chance to review, but only came out last month. This got a 7 out of 10 on average when I looked it up and checked it out for other reviews. But let's have a look at this one. This is one that people might not know about, and we'll get why Dave made this his number 4 game.
Who dares challenge me? Skull of Fate.
So there you go. That is Dark Quest 4, which came out last month. Now, everyone's saying, you can see why Dave likes playing this, because Stuart Ashens has been playing this a lot. In fact, he was playing it on Sunday. So this was my first kind of look at it. But yeah, and everyone's mentioning Hero Quest. It does look like a Hero Quest game, and I used to love playing Hero Quest back in the day. I've still got the original board games, believe it or not. But Fury says Lizard Cube can do no wrong. 100% they need to do a golden axe. One of the team did concept art for it a few years back after working on Streets of Rage 4. So, Dave, why is Dark Quest 4 your number 4 game of this year?
Well, Danker and several other people in chat basically hit on it. It's down to Stuart playing it on stream. It's a weird one because I've never, again, it seems a common thing with me, I've never heard of this series prior to this game. And actually, the stream he started playing it, I was late to. So I came in just to see this quirky little game he was playing. I thought, Stu being Stu, he'll play it for once and probably just never touch it again. And then it became a regular feature over the next, 4 weeks, I think it's been so far. But he demonstrates why I think it's such a good game. It's very, obviously, rogue-based. It's D&D sort of kind of thing. Hero Quest, shades of that. But you can go into it, again, jump into it, 10-minute map, done. Come out again. I tend to play 10, 15 minutes before bed, just like a wind-down thing before I go to sleep. And it's just a really quirky, funny little game. It's got a weird sort of nerdy sense of humor in it.
Okay.
Even you've got so many different characters, each are a designated class, and you get this funny voice of the guy who's, I suppose he's supposed to be Dungeon Master, who'll say the name's Wizard and do really odd ways to announce it. And that's kind of become a meme in Stews as well, where it's just Wizard, Rogue, or Lady, things like that. It's just that silly little sense of humor that gets me. That's really vibes me. That and the whole D&D aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's quick. It's fun. And I don't think I'll ever get bored of it. So, fun a game for the next 3 years, possibly.
I have never heard of these set of games like you know.
No,
but I would consider playing it because I loved Hero Quest. So, and the fact I did see Stuart playing it on his stream on Sunday, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then you said, it's going to be in my list. I was like, okay, all right, okay, this is good now. This all adds up. Games Guru, evening all. How you doing? How are you doing? Okay, so we move to Dave Jones's number 4, and a game that had been critically acclaimed, but seems to be massively overlooked on all awards, which I find quite annoying because I thought this was superb. So I'll go through scores in a minute on these ones, but this one got very highly scored on our show, and this is Dave's number 4.
To the architect, an empty blueprint represents a world of possibilities.
I give and bequeath to my grandnephew all of my right, title, and interest in the house and land which I own near Mount Holly.
A world of dreams and doorways.
The above provision is contingent on discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate.
I suspect you wish me to look into your future.
Should my grandnephew fail, then this gift shall lapse.
PlayStation.
There you go. Some people saying this would be their number 1 game because it is so excellent. But Dave, tell us why this is your number 4, The Blueprints.
I just think it's a really well designed puzzle game. Not many games get me to actually start making notes on my phone, taking pictures of the screen or something like the information that's there to come back to later on. it's very rare a game will do that, but this one really did. I've still got the notes on my phone because I haven't finished the game yet. I like as usual, I get distracted by something else that comes out. But I put a good number of hours into this. Got fairly far, solving various puzzles, finding new things that that add to the mystery. That I then, say, I found like a new hidden doorway. Now I've got to try and work out where the key is to get into it. So I just found it's really cool to play. It's got a bit of sort of the roguelikeness to it, where you've got to pick a room to lay out, and you don't know what you're going to get. But then the more you play, you can like tweak some of the rooms, so improve what they give you, and improve your chances to get a bit further. So I do want to go back to it. At least I got all my notes that I took to refresh my memory on what I did. So I do definitely want to go back to this and sort of find out how to solve it and what the rest of the mystery is. So or if there's more to it, I've managed to avoid any spoilers. But for me, it's one of the most well-designed puzzle games that I've come across in recent years. So I'd recommend to anyone give it a go. Awesome game.
I applaud this game for what it makes you do and how it makes you do it, and makes you think in so many different ways. I adored this, but I feel that it's been not really recognized on any major awards lists, which kind of annoyed me really, because it deserves a lot of love, this game. And it's on Game Pass, so if you want to get it, go check it out. Games Guru is now on a free stream streak. You get 350 bonus mojo points. Matt, welcome on in. Good to see you. The sense of discovery, says Brian, is amazing. And there are so many eureka moments. Yeah, when you finally crack a puzzle, it's like, nice.
It's awesome.
There you go. Dan GameTank says, that's crazy, Mag. I didn't know that. Deserves some recognition. It does. It's not done. It's got nominated for stuff, but has been bypassed so many times, which is a shame. So, on to my number 4. And as I said, with my list, the only game that was really a game that didn't make me, in terms of, didn't make me feel anything, it was my number 5. It was just pure enjoyment. All the rest of my list are games that either made me cry, made me think, made me feel great about myself, made me feel bad about myself. And this was a one of them. And this game did literally come out of nowhere. And I'm so glad that this won an award at the Horror Game Awards on Saturday. So this is my number 4.
Dreadful was the day when the sun vanished. The waters dried up, birds went quiet, and the dark itself seeped unchecked into the work table. The night that followed would be long. As long as the midnight walk.
How could this happen? Oh, the flame warms the righteous, but the wicked, the flame burns with a passion.
What is the dark? Is it ugly and cruel? Is it a place for fools lost in the woods?
This little flame, keep them nurtured and safe through the rain, in the dark, and over Moon Mountain.
The dark itself is the key. All it needs is a little spark, and I get what I need.
The sun away.
PlayStation.
Just hearing that soundtrack again gave me goosebumps. And I think that's the thing with this. So a game like this that can make you think and make you feel like it did with me. And I didn't play this in VR because I've not got VR. So I played the normal PlayStation 5 version. But the fact it's just as good on the normal version as it is with the VR version just proves what a great game. Beautifully animated with all the clay animation and everything. Tells a fantastic story, and it literally is fucking heart-wrenching. And there's funny moments in it as well, but there's some very scary moments. It's very Tim Burton-esque, as Games Guru said. But I adored this, and it is one of the few games that I played through twice because I loved it so much. And I think I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago because I went back to it and played it again because I was making my considerations for this list. But it certainly is good. I'm glad it got Best VR Game at I think it was Golden Joystick Awards, and I think it got Best VR Game at Horror Game Awards. It's on MetaQuest or just MetaQuest as well, I believe. I think as well as PSVR 2. I think.
I'm not sure about MetaQuest. It'll be on PC VR though, I think.
Oh, it's on PC VR. There you go. So there you go. But yeah, go check it out. But you can play it on normal PC and PlayStation 5 as well. Maybe it'll get an Xbox release. Who knows? But to give you an idea, Dark Quest 4, which was Dave's number 4, got a 7 out of 10 when I researched it. Blueprint got a whopping 9 out of 10. And the Midnight Walk got a 7.5 on this show. So now we are on to our number 3s of the list. And starting with Dave Johnson, a game that basically launched something brand new. So let's have a look at Dave's number 3.
Let's go! Yahoo!
There you go. So your number 3 game, Mr. Johnson, is Mario Kart World. Please do tell us why.
Well, I mean, just looking at it, I think it is a beautiful game. Apart from being a fan of 8 on the original Switch, this has improved nearly every way. It's weird as well because it's a Mario Kart game with an open world section, which is not something I would ever think could exist, where you just drive about, no matter, just to go from one map to the other. But it's very difficult. One of the biggest criticisms of this game is the rubber banding on it is the worst that Mario Kart's ever seen. So there's a couple of streamers I've been watching recently who drop into last place for like 2/3 of the race, and then suddenly they're in first place by the end. And I'm hoping they'll fix that with, updates in the future. But it's just, I just can't believe how beautiful a game it is. I don't know if it's just because I'm still in the honeymoon period of having a Switch 2 and just amazed at the graphics of it in general. But just the fact it feels so open and you can just drive for miles if you particularly wanted to and run over a bunch of shy guys if you feel like you want to do that. It's just fun. And the maps are so detailed and there's so many different secret little ways you can get around the shortcuts to sort of beat the competition and then get rubber banded back to last place if you're me. I just love it. I never thought I'd like it as much. to be honest, I only got it 'cause it was with the Switch.
Yeah.
But then I thought it was my only game I'll play it for a bit, and then got hooked, and I was playing it for about 11 hours straight, which for me is unheard of.
Yeah.
And I got square eyes after it. But apart from that, great game, beautiful game.
Yeah. A couple of people saying a couple of things that I get. Obviously, Dave might not have played these other two games because this, and I think if he played them, then he might have changed what he's picked. Because I think Mario Kart is definitely a good shout. But Gozzo said Mario Kart 8, in his opinion, is better than World. Also, Sonic Racing is much better than World. Now, I agree with that because I did enjoy Mario Kart World. But then when I got Sonic Racing, I thought, oh, they've really stepped up, especially as the last Sonic Racing game. Team Racing was a massive disappointment. So they really stepped up. But I have enjoyed both of these equally. And Furious said, it's good, but Kirby Air Riders and Sonic Race Grounds. But again, probably agree with that in some respect, but it's one of them, isn't it? It's that thing of getting it. And I think Kirby Air Riders was weirdly, just as strange as it sounds, a little bit mismarketed because people still were thinking it was a kart racer when it isn't really in that respect. But there you go. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Mario Kart. Well, Dave, you've had this as well, haven't you? So
yeah, I played a fair amount of it. I wasn't that fussed about the open world side of it. My daughter's played more of that than I have, but she had great fun. Driving around the world, finding stuff, especially unlocking different costumes. But I just like playing like the races, and it's got good tracks to it, and also the bits where you're going in between tracks are more like the straights. Even some of those could be quite good fun. I enjoyed some of those bits. But what I really quite enjoyed was the I think it was a knockout tour, that multiplayer mode.
Yes.
That was just pretty madcap, trying to like keep you high enough up in the rankings to progress to the next section as the numbers getting whittled down. That was good fun. I'd some good games on that one. So,
I like that. I think that was a good new addition to that. Definitely. So moving on to Dave's number 3, which again, I remember you talking very fondly of this on the talk show. So let's have a look at your number 3 game of 2025, Dave. You go straight to the point with that trailer. But this is Sword of the Sea, which, again, I feel has been massively overlooked on everything, but got rave reviews at the time. So, Dave, tell us more about this one and why it's your number 3 game of this year.
Yeah, I like some of the games that the designers have worked on before. I think the company that made it did Abzu, which I played eventually on like PS Plus, and that thoroughly enjoyed that. And also I think they worked on Journey. Some of them did, and that was a great game. So visually, this kind of reminded me of Journey. It's got like a section where it's like a sort of callback to it as well. But this is another one of those games where you can just sort of go into the world and it's kind of like just sort of just flow around on it as you're doing the surfing. It's got nice music to it, nice little challenges to do, a few little sort of platformy bits, but it all just sort of flows really well together. And even gives you the option just to do like a few tricks when you're like going off jumps and things like that. There's a few little optional challenge areas you can go and do, and just the whole thing just sort of works really nicely for me. It's got like a okay story that pulls you along, but it was still pretty good, and I was pleased to see how it ended. And I'd recommend it if you like Journey and Abzu. It's one of those sort of great little games to play. I think it took me about 5-ish hours, but it was really cool. The environments were really good, music was good. I say it was great to play. Yeah,
Johnny's saying look really cute. I've not had a chance to play this at all. I'm guessing Dave probably the same as me, but this did look good.
It's
really good. Okay, moving on to my number 3. I can tell you that Dave's game was the highest rated game out of our number 3s. I might as well quote this. Sword of the Sea got a 9 out of 10 on this show. 9 out of 10. Mario Kart World got an 8.5. And my next game got the same as my score as my number 4. It's got a 7.5. But again, a game that I feel has been criminally overlooked. Has won a few little awards, but nothing too much. But this is my number free game.
There's a fine line between mercy and justice. Ain't that right, Hazel Flood? You chose a hard road for yourself.
Hazel, please, it isn't safe!
We got a long journey ahead.
I'm always fast enough!
It's not safe out there, Hazel. If I was the one missing, she wouldn't stop looking.
Crouton?
What the? And this ain't even the weirdest thing I've seen today.
I'm seeing these things. You can see strands. And now you're looking for a creature. You're a weaver, aren't you?
Hello?
There's something big out there.
Take this and go find your mama.
I'll come back.
You better. I gotta know how this tale of Hazel ends. Hazel, no!
This ends now.
Mama?
There you go. That is South at Midnight, which is my number 3 game. I enjoyed this so much. And again, it was a game I was looking forward to for quite some time. Again, beautiful animation, beautifully voiced, great fun, great platforming, great puzzles. I think only the combat bit lets it down a little bit. The combat's quite basic, but again, it's not a massive part of the game. So it doesn't really matter. But it has one of the best soundtracks, I think, in a game this year. There's literally, as Kindred said, there's one bit that's really emotional. I swear one of the songs literally made me cry in it while I was playing the game, because that's how fucking good this soundtrack is and how emotional this game is. I thought, again, needs so much more love than this game got. But what is good, if no one's tried it, is on Game Pass at the moment. But it is coming to Switch and PlayStation 5, I believe, in the new year. I think Danka said. So that's really good to hear, because it does deserve to be on other platforms. So people need to play this because it's such a well-made game. But again, when it got reviewed on the talk show, it only got a 7.5. So again, maybe that was why it was massively overlooked. People just thought it was one of those games. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and that's why it deserves to be in my top 5. Now, getting closer to the end, we're now doing our, without sounding rude, our number 2s. There you go. Not a 90 quid Portaloo in sight. So, Dave Johnson's number 2 game is another sort of remaster in a way. So let's have a look at this. If I press this button, here we go. There you go. So Dave Johnson's number 2 game of the year is Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition. Now, am I right? Is this on PC only, this one at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
at the moment, yeah.
So
For good reason.
why has this made your number 2 game of the year?
Well, for 2 reasons, really. First of which, I'm a huge Warhammer 40k fan, but in the sense of I love the story, the world building, the lore. Would never play the tabletop game because I don't have £3 million and every weekend free. But the lore, I think I own about 250 novels, like actual physical novels, and then I think my Audible's just full of the same novels. So obviously, I know a lot about it. And this was my favorite RTS of all the RTSs I played, because I used to be a big fan of that growing up. Command and Conquer, Red Alert, that sort of thing. Love those games, but when this came along, blew them all out of the water for me. Probably because I liked, Warhammer. That kind of helps.
Yeah.
But this game, especially with the additions, expansions, it just feels like such a large game. And the Definitive Edition, to be honest, they've done an amazing job of just bringing it up to a modern standard as far as you can with a game that's 22 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Like just the widescreen graphics, as it says, the pathfinding is a lot better because originally sometimes the units got stuck on a wall, things like that. But this is just my childhood, and that is why it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
But it's just a heck of a game. There's so many different unit customizations you can do, ways to complete different objectives on maps. I think there's 8 different armies you can play as once you've got the different expansions, and each expansion brings a different type of campaign as well. So you've got a traditional narrative-based campaign, or you've got a more a civilization-based campaign where you go into different regions and take them over one by one, defend. Yeah. And it just sunk so much time into it. I absolutely love it.
Okay. All right. So I'm getting a few people in the chat are like, oh, didn't know this was a thing. This guy, how long did this go? It was a couple of months ago this came out, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Complete shock to me as well. I didn't know. Someone who's supposed to be so into the Warhammer lore and everything about it. This came. It was. I'm sure when you mentioned it on Tuesday Night Gaming Chat, I was like, "Hey, wait, hang on, what?
Yeah.
How have I missed the last year of this development?" And then, I've only wishlist one game this year, and well, you're looking at it.
That was it. There you go. Well, that's the beauty of this show. We always cover as many random games as we can, not just all the big hitters. And many a time we get messages from people who watch the show that say, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have known about this game, and we're loving this. And that's what I love to hear. So that's amazing. Yeah. So there you go. So we Dave Johnson out this year with this. The Braze, welcome on in. Great to see you. C Kindred says, I didn't know they remastered it. I've got 1 to 3. So there you go. Supernova, good evening. Welcome on in. So Warhammer 40k Dawn of War got reimagine whatever it was called. I've forgotten now. Definitive Edition. Sorry, got a 7.5 out of 10 on the show. So we're now going to move on to Dave's number 2, and this was a game I certainly enjoyed, and we'll probably carry on to continue playing with other people because it's such good fun. But again, got absolutely snubbed last week at the Game Awards, which really surprised me. Got absolutely snubbed, but it is definitely worth getting this. But I'm wondering if because it came out so early in the year, maybe people did forget about it. Let's have a look at Mr. Dave Jones's number 2 game of 2025.
What do we do? Do we fight them? What? Run! Definitely run!
What is the Ice King's deal, apart from his interior design?
Brace yourself!
There you go. Split Fiction. I love this game so much.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. So tell us why it's your number 2.
Yeah, I just found it's to be absolute just joy to play. Brilliant co-op game. Lots of fun things that it does. To get you both involved. You both need to use the powers that you get in each different sort of world to help each other out and progress through it. And it did a really good job, I think. Mixing sort of going from sci-fi to fantasy. Sci-fi to fantasy. Did a really good job with that. Had some good environments, good boss fights, stuff in there. That again, you both had to work with each other to do. So just great fun. Get together with a friend on this, getting on voice chat, and just chatting along, then playing it, trying to work out what to do. So well done. Story-wise, I wouldn't say it's as good as It Takes Two. I think I sort of gelled with that story a bit more. But this one, it was still good enough. Pulled me along through. But it was the gameplay that really sort of made it, and all the stuff they got you to do. And it had did some really good things. For the final level, I thought that was pretty very well done. So I mean, for anyone looking for like a seriously good co-op game, I mean, this to me is the best one of the year to play. Absolutely fantastic game. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I think also again, like always with all the other games from the studio, you only need to buy one copy.
Yeah,
so if
that's
your friend wants to play it, they download the Friend Pass on whatever platform, and it's multi-platform as well, which is great. And then they just play it, which is superb. So, yeah, definitely Split Fiction. That I'm not going to lie, would have been in my top 5, but we only allow one person to have, so we end up having the same games. So obviously, I let our guest choose first, and then Dave, and then it's me. So, yeah, Dave pinched one that I really want in my top 5, but I'm glad it's there because it deserves to be there. So. That is all good. Especially the pig level. The pig level is hilarious.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I won't spoil it for anyone who's not played it. Split Fiction was an amazing game to play, says Games Guru. So, Split Fiction got a 9.5 out of 10 back in March. Can you believe that was March? Come out in March. So there you go. Now, on to my number 2. I think I'm going to piss some people off now. I'll give my reasons why this isn't my number 1, but here you go. My number 2 game of the year.
Rated M for mature.
You should never have come. You're only going to make things worse for everyone.
No. She chose to come. I didn't make the rules between you two.
You're fighting to change things.
For those who come after. Right?
I thought I was used to losing people.
Yeah, me too.
I know it seems absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, but
she'll never paint again.
PlayStation.
A game that deserves every single award it's won. And again, I tussled with this a lot. And it was like, is this going to be my number 1 game or is it not? And I know I've spoken so highly of this. And I think this is why people might be pissed at me, because I think everyone thought this was going to be my number 1 game, which probably means there's a lot of people in chat going, I have no fucking idea what his number 1 game is. A game, again, that shocked me in places. made me laugh in places. Great storytelling, amazing soundtrack, beautiful visuals, and I'm gonna say this: a game from a genre that I would never, ever have a second thought about ever playing, because I do not like RPG games. I've said this many a time, but I always want to give things a fair shout. And from the moment we first streamed this, I was like, this is something different. This is something far superior to anything that I've played. And it probably does deserve to be my number one game. But I have thought about it, and you'll see why I've gone for my number one choice. But this deserves everything it's won. And for all the people that are moaning that Expedition 33 has cleared, fuck you. Because this deserves everything. This was made by a team, a small team. It's their first game. It was beautifully put together. And the fact that they got local musicians, they got people off basically like Craigslist and God knows Reddit or whatever, and found people to do the work and do all that. So they're getting people that were given a chance to prove themselves and talented people, rather than just getting a big company to come in, spend a fucking $300 million budget on it, and then it turns out to be a load of dog shit. This was something that was every little aspect was conceived with love, and that's why it's such a good game. And if you haven't played it, please do go out and try it, because you deserve to play it. But I just couldn't make it my number one. Just couldn't make it number one. A couple of people are guessing that it might be Just Dance 2026. No, it's not. And it's not Peppa Pig, Jenny. And I can tell you why it's not Peppa Pig. Because Peppa Pig World Adventure didn't come out this year, so it doesn't qualify. Mind's Eye, I'm going to say this now, Games Go. I did think about trolling people. And when it got to my number one, playing the Mind's Eye trailer. But obviously, as I stated early in the show, which I know you didn't see, I did call Mind's Eye the biggest piece of shit that came out this year. And I still stand by that. So there you go. It can't be Astrobot because it came out last year, and that was my number one game of last year, JL. It can't be Skull and Bones either because it doesn't qualify because that came out last year, and that wouldn't have even got in my top 50 because it was shit. Could it be Cozy Bonfire? No, never played it. Is it FBC Firebreak? Oh my God, again, that goes into my mediocrity list. I forgot to mention that. Mediocrity list. No, JL, you've just missed it. Expedition 33 was my second best game of the year. This is why everyone's trying to guess. Everyone thought that was going to be my number one game. It's my number two. But no, yeah, FBC Firebreak. I love Remedy. I love everything it does except that game. And I even had to have that conversation with someone at the Horror Game Awards who was defending it. And I said, that's cool if you're still playing it, and that's great. But for me, it was played it, done, out the window. So they better fucking get back on track with Control 2. Otherwise, I'll have to have words with my mate. He just nuts in and drinks.
I've got my fingers crossed. That looks good.
I think that'll be
trailer for that.
And do you know what it is? And you said this on a text. I'm going to say this now. Dave said to me on a text, it wasn't what I was expecting from a Control sequel. And I always think that the games from Remedy that are not what you're expecting, as in Alan Wake 2, because when Alan Wake 2 got revealed, it was like, well, this is way different to the first game. That's when they fucking succeed. So please, I want that to be a good success. But FBC Firebreak, there you go. Anyway, on to our number one. So just to recap there, Warhammer 40k Dawn of War Definitive Edition got a 7.5. Split Fiction got a 9.5. Clay Obscura at the time when we reviewed it got a 9 out of 10. But then it went up. If you actually go on Meta, I think it's got a higher score on Metacritic now or whatever, but that got a 9 out of 10 at the time. So actually Split Fiction was rated more higher. But our number one games, our final ones, folks, number one games of the year. And we start with Mr. Johnson's. Let's have a look at this. This is a game, again, we reviewed this on the show. And again, it got really good reviews. But again, not many people are probably talking about it. But let's have a look at this. This is your number one game of the year.
Peggy 12.
Agent, your mission is to find the cause of these anomalies. Keep an eye on her.
We're actually in the digital world!
Does everything lead back to them? They're a new investigation partner. Others are hunting these anomalies. More Digimon? Agent, we need you. You must
And you just got to love it just for the da-da-da-da-da, which we first got at the start of this year and has carried us through with that new logo. So I'm quite
a little jingle.
And that's there. So that's great. From Bandai Namco, came out in October. Digimon Story Time Stranger, as Dan rightly points out. Bandai Namco, no. So tell us why this is your number one game.
Right, quite simple. So growing up, you were either a Pokemon kid or a Digimon kid if you were raised in the 90s. Me, I was a weirdo who liked Digimon. And that's it. But I didn't play the Digimon games until later. Because there's quite a few out, especially these like Cyber Sleuth and the spin-offs, which this is like a sequel to those.
Yeah.
And a lot of people love the Pokemon games. They're legendary, they're iconic. These games just, I don't know, they scratch a different itch for me. Because it's much more customizable. Whereas, you know, you're raising Pokemon, your team's pretty basic. Digimon it's like a Pikachu evolving into a Charizard. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's Digimon. And again, it's that nostalgic hit for me. But this game was bigger than I thought. It lasted a lot longer. I thought it'd be like a 20-hour game and done. I think I've sunk 170 hours into it.
Wow.
Wow, nuts.
Granted, yeah, for a game like this that I think is supposed to cap out about 60, I keep going back and sort of trying to raise new Digimon and then optimize the team, that kind of thing. And the first DLC just came out a couple of days ago. And that added like another 3.5 hours plus a bunch of like, extra stuff. Yeah. So as you can imagine, I'm going to play through that again over the weekend, the DLC. So again, there's always a thing with me. It's always nostalgia. Maybe it's because I'm getting on. I don't know. Sorry to you two. But it just felt right to me. I just enjoyed every second of it. Even though it's an RPG style game, there is grinding. Never felt like a grind though. So, sorry, Pokemon. This one is my game of the year because it just sucked me in from minute 1 to hour 170 where I currently am.
Nice.
What am I doing with my life? Really? Seriously?
Well, your number one game got an 8 out of 10 on our show back in October.
Yeah. Which I feel like it should be higher, but then I'm biased. But again, as you said, I don't think a lot of people have really looked at it.
No.
Because it's Digimon. There's a thing, you see it online as well, especially on message boards. You say Digimon, people say, oh yeah, Pokemon Light.
Yeah.
So people don't give it a chance. But if you're an RPG fan, absolutely give it a go.
Yeah. Dank says, Dave loving Digimon. I guess you watch the new Ghost game anime on the BBC right now.
No. Actually, I have not.
There you go.
So that's
there you go.
It's like I didn't have time before. No.
That's you. There you go.
Squishy
Tashona. Digimon is awesome. Yes, there are so many Daves tonight. Hello. It says, hi, Daves and Mags. There you go. That's kind of terrifying. There you go. Imagine a herd of Daves. That is terrifying.
Cool herd.
Yeah, it'd be a cool
herd.
It
would be, wouldn't it? Mag would probably have a heart attack.
No, I'd be the one with the thing ushering you into the pens. So there you go. With my little stupid hat on and a wooden stick. Going, like that. And you can devolve and revolve to get different ones too. Digimon is mental and we love it, says Pocket.
Yep.
So there you go. coming in 2026. Mag Herder. There you go.
Should not be Dave Herder, technically.
Dave Herder. Dave Herder.
Dave Herder Simulator.
Yeah, Dave Herder Simulator featuring Mag. Here we go.
6 different Dave skins.
Now, Mr. Jones's number one game. This got an 8.5 on the show when it came out, around about October time again.
Yeah.
And this was the comeback king story that everyone was hoping for, especially as it shat all over its main competitor. If you can guess what it is, please say what you think Dave's number one game is in chat. But here we go with our co-host who knows the most, number one game of the year.
My fellow citizens, my fellow. We will prevail.
We're ready, Mr. President.
My fellow citizens, today represents a dark day in our history. With this monstrous, unprovoked attack, no country is safe from their reach. For all those serving on our behalf, our prayers go with you. For the Pax Armada mercenaries who are watching now, I have a message. It's over.
Let's get to work.
Come, your masters of war. Hear the bells of big guns. Hear the hide behind walls. 30 seconds. Ain't turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly.
Move fast. Move decisive. Dagger on my 6. Send it.
And I hope that you die. And your death will come soon.
Kicking COD's ass into outer space, the Combat King, which was Battlefield 6.
Yeah, it was about time they actually had a good launch for a change. Because a lot of previous launches have been freaking terrible, taking ages to sort themselves out. And the less said about Battlefield 2042, the way that came out.
Yeah,
that took a good year to actually be a reasonable game to play. But this one, you know, they did really take their time with it. Get the community involved, doing lots and lots of playthroughs before it even came to like beta. And then when it came to like that beta weekend, I just started playing this, and then I just played it solidly for like the 2 weekends that they ran the beta for, then waited impatiently for the October release. I've been playing it pretty regularly since then, and I just really enjoy it. I mean, the single player is fairly average. It's the multiplayer where it's at for this, and the multiplayer is superbly done. For me, it's a good mix of maps. I know a lot of people keep asking for like bigger maps, but I find the size they've got in there are pretty decent, because you never get that feeling where you sort of respawn somewhere and then you got to go for ages to find the action.
Yeah.
And by the time you get there, the action's moved on somewhere else, and then you get sniped and have to do the whole thing again. Because I've had that in older Battlefields on the massive maps.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I never really feel that way. I feel like I'm getting back in the action. And the action in there is really good. They've really got the chaos of the battlefield, down pat in this one. It looks good visually. It sounds good. Audio is brilliant in there. But just the chaos that goes on. You can just be like getting into position to take a sniper shot, and then a helicopter just crashes down next to you or takes out a building. Just chaos reigns on this. It's absolutely fantastic. And they keep still adding new maps to it, so they've got plenty of stuff to keep you coming back in. Throw a few new weapons in there as well. It has got battle passes and stuff like that, but you can ignore that if you're really not interested. You can ignore the skins. It's just for me, a fantastic multiplayer game. I've been having so much fun in it, and I'm just going in solo. Occasionally, do a bit of co-op with a friend as a party, but you can go in this solo and have a great time. In my opinion, absolutely fantastic game. Yeah, get stuck in, then you feel like you're doing something, helping your squad mates out and trying to win the match. Absolutely brilliant.
Nice. So Battlefield 6 is a winner and is
Yes.
Dave's #1 game of this year, and it got a whopping 8.5 out of 10 on our talk show a couple of months back. And for our final one, folks, some of you have been guessing what it might be because I've really confused people by the fact that Expedition 33 is not my #1 game of the year. All I'm going to say before I play the trailer is this ticked every box for me. And again, it hit the emotional feels in certain places. I'll explain more why it's my #1 game. But here is a trailer for a game that, again, like a lot of ours in the top 15, was massively, criminally overlooked and didn't get nominated for anything, which I'm so sad to see, but it deserves to be recognised. So here we go. My #1 game is Keeper. This game was an unexpected hit for me. It's bizarre. It's beautiful. Icewell, that was last year and was in my top 5 last year. It was whimsical, brilliant in every aspect. A game that there's no language in it, so there's no actual speech, there's just different character noises. But it was about 5-6 hour game that was just a joy to play through from start to finish. And the thing is, the trailer only gives away about a quarter of the game because things massively change from about a quarter after. So what you saw on when I did the stream of it was pretty much what's in the trailer. So this game also keeps you interested because it is constantly evolving and constantly changing. And I love the fact that, because at not one point did I feel that I was retreading ground like with Donkey Kong or getting bored. And again, it hit those emotional feels in the right places. And I'm a sucker for that with a game because then that's shown that it's telling a really good story. I always rate Double Fine as a studio, and they brought out some amazing games. Psychonauts 2 was in my top 5, going back quite a few years back when we did a Christmas special quite a few years back. But I was struggling with this and Expedition 33. And I just think that because I loved every single aspect of this and I could not put a fault with it, this is why this was my number one. So there you go. There you go. It's a very mad game. It is. It's very me. If you haven't tried it, it's free on Game Pass. Please do. Pocket says, right, I'm making a pact with myself to play new releases in 2026 so I can actually have a top 5. Yeah. Danka says, just warning everyone, it does get very stroby. Yes, if anyone that suffers from epilepsy, maybe not the best game because it does go absolutely mental as fuck at the end. But I love that. I love that a lot. And I like how it all comes back together and there's little things that were questioning you, kind of like, well, why is that happening? And why is that happening? And it ties it in a nice little neat bow and goes, there you go, story concluded. And I love that when a game does all that. So there you go. That got an 8 out of 10 on our show back in, I think that was September, October when that came out. So that was my number one game. So for folks that have joined us, I'm going to do a very quick recap. Our honorable mentions, so games that we recommend that you play, but didn't make our top 15. We got Jackbox 11, Gears of War Reloaded, Elden Ring Night Rain, Ark Raiders, Mafia the Old Country, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Chronos The New Dawn, and Baby Steps. And then our top 15, in no particular order, really, Metal Gear Solid, Delta Snake Eater, Lonely Mountain Snow Riders, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Dark Quest 4, Blueprints, The Midnight Walk, Mario Kart World, Sword of the Sea, South of Midnight, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War Definitive Edition, Split Fiction, Claire Obscura Expedition 33, Digimon Storytime Stranger, Battlefield 6, and Keeper. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show for 2025. There you go. There you go. So we've done it. And this is our last show of the year. We will be back in the new year. So there'll be no show Tuesday Night Gaming Chat for 2 weeks. We will be for the next 2 Tuesdays doing, ironically, Jackbox nights because it's part of our community games night, which starts from tomorrow. Okay. So we'll be playing What the Dub tomorrow, Sonic Rumble on Thursday, Among Us on Friday, Fortnite, which is a very special Fortnite sponsored stream. I'm being sponsored by Fortnite for the first time. So that's big stuff. Sunday, I'm a guest on Ashen Stream. Next Monday's Gartic Phone. And then we've got our Jackbox night. Take 3 days off for Christmas. And then we're back with Words, Marbles, and other games on stream. Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart World. Rocket League. And a final Jackbox night to see in the new year. So Tuesday Night Gaming Chat will be back on Tuesday the 6th with Dave and myself with part 1 of our New Year Games Special, where we see what the critics are raving about for 2026 and see if any of them actually come out. Because as I said,
fingers crossed,
the 50 games that we announced didn't come out this year, and one got chopped after it did come out. That will be a 2-part special. Then our normal schedule of TNGC will kick off on the 13th, where our first guest, as announced last night, will be Kwang, who worked on Terminator 2D No Fate. So we've got one of the devs from that game on our show. And it means that our 250th show will be on January the 27th. So we have done 250 shows in just over 5 years. So we'll be celebrating 250 shows on the 27th of Jan. So there you go. So Dave gets a well-earned break.
Thank you.
Thank you to Dave Johnson for being our guest tonight for the second time on the Christmas special. And again, the game you refuse to have in your top 15. Yes, iQuail. It's a perfectly good game. As I said, that's it. End of story. And then, obviously, a massive thank you to Dave, who spends literally every Tuesday night here doing the show. And also, I get a whole list of games, and he helps narrow it down to a list of 8 every week. And then that's what shapes the show. And then we put the show together from that and write it. So thank you to everything that you do, Dave. Greatly appreciate it.
No worries, mate. Always a pleasure.
And
people tune in for Dave every week.
Every people tune in.
Thank
He's got
you,
his fan club
Just
in chat.
Dave.
We know that. Here's to year 6. Can we believe that we're saying year 6 of this show? And obviously, thank you to all of you who watch this show week in, week out, whether you watch this live. I know we've started doing this on YouTube live, so thank you to the new viewers we get on YouTube. Thank you to all our viewers on Twitch. And thank you to all of you that watch this on catch-up, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch. This has been a passion project of mine for many years, and it was one of the first things I ever did when we launched the Twitch channel. And Dave has been by my side for the whole time, and we've had some fantastic guests over the years, and we'll have some more fantastic guests come. So thank you to each one of you for basically making this show what it is, because I'll be honest, without this show, I probably wouldn't be doing as much streaming as I do. This is the thing that drives me to stream and play new games. So thank you to all for supporting this show, whether you've been watching for 1 week or all 5 years that we've been doing it. I greatly appreciate it. So thank you to all. All that leaves for me to say is we are going to do a raid. So let's see who is on. 3 years since the first Knots VG. Yes, it will be. The first Knots VG was 3 years ago. We will have to see whether they are doing one next year. It's apparently up in the air, is all we know. They might be looking at somewhere else. But Bristol is on, and you can see me speaking at Bristol. Not allowed to talk about what I'm speaking about because it's a surprise that they're announcing in the new year. But I will be on stage for 45 minutes interviewing someone really fucking cool. That's all I can say about that. Let's see who's on, who we can raid. Yeah, Bristol is on. Bristol is 100% on. I think Alex is looking at options. That's what he said to me when he did the phone call last week. So Nottingham may happen, or it might be somewhere else. So he might have somewhere to replace Nottingham. He's in 2 minds. Let's see. Let's go to Christ. There's a lot on tonight. Oh, I think we should raid Devi. Because we haven't raided. What's Devi playing? Because she raids me a lot, and we don't often get to raid her. Devi is a VTuber. She's playing Postcraft. So let's go raid Devi. Send a lot of them. It's awesome. Someone's just put something in private chat as well. Let me just quickly check that. Oh, yes. Something I should do before we do quickly raid over before I press the button. I should also thank you for reminding me, Dave. Thank you to all the mods and everybody who do all the shout outs week on week, because fucking hell, that's an hard job. And basically, keep doing the shout outs, not just on one platform, but on technically 3 different platforms for us. And it's hard work keeping up with all you lot that keep guessing the games right. So can you lot next year make us a promise and not get as many right and make their lives a little bit easier, please? So thank you to all the mods that are here. We've got Dave Johnson, iQuail, Dan, we have Will, we have Sophie, Drawn Unicycle, all of them. Please do say thank you to them as well. Cute Tiger Gem says OLL is back next year for those in the Norwich area. Yes. And 2 weeks later, the debug event is on as well. Also,
go to that one. Go to the debug one.
We're going to have Dan from Debug as a guest for our 250th show. And he will be unveiling something quite special. So it'll be a first for us on that. So I'm just going to turn Devi's voice up because you can hear Devi talking. So let me just do that. So he will be on. So yes, OLL is on, but their event looks a lot better. Just saying. I probably might end up at both. So there you go. Right, we are now going to raid Devi, so I'm going to press that button. Let's go high, say to Devi. As I say, I am back tomorrow with our first of our community nights, and we will have more games to give away. We are doing our big Christmas giveaways, so we will be playing some What the Dub. And all that leaves for me to say is, wherever you are in the world, have a fantastic Christmas and a brilliant New Year, and we shall see you back for next year. Thank you so much. Much love for all of us. Take care. Bye.